locating primary research. Dear students, we have been discussing some of the possibilities that how can we locate primary research. Okay. Now we are going to discuss tables of references and tables of bibliographies, which may be used in order to get access to relevant studies and relevant information related to your topics and related to your research questions. Okay. Actually, we need to have an access to primary research because we need to explore existing literature, right? In order to provide evidences to our topics, and then in order to just propose some of the solutions, and then formulate some of the hypotheses, we need to go to references and bibliographies. I'm sure that you must have gone through bibliographies and references which are given at the end of a research paper, research article, and then bibliography or references list may also be given at the end of a book, right? Particularly when it's a textbook, when it's a research book, then we need to mention that what are the references which are used and what are the relevant materials which are used in bibliographies. Okay, so we must be able to use bibliographies and references as a profitable source for finding more information related to our research topics, and then also in order to find answers related to our research questions. Okay, so these bibliographies and references tables, these are profitable places, and we can use them to find research studies, primary research particularly. By visiting list of references and list of bibliographies, we would definitely know that what are the benchmark studies. And benchmark studies are basically the seminal studies which are providing background information to the topics being explored, right? So we would know them from references, from bibliographies, and then by going through the list of books given at the list of references or at the list of bibliography, we would be sparking interest. We may be just having motivation to further explore relevant studies, right? So these bibliographies and references can also help us out while going through particular issues related to our research topics, related to our research questions. Okay, so these are important studies, and they can also be, there could be some studies which are providing us with directional change, like we may be exploring from the books which are given in the list of references and bibliographies, and we may be using them as our sources for information and also for finding relevant information, right? So there are easy tips, and you can use them. You would be using them. Studies are benchmark studies which are given in the books, and then we must have the tactics to know and to explore references and bibliographies related to our research topics, and identify the frequency of citations. If you are exploring a book from a database, from a preliminary source like ERIC or Google Scholar or relevant other JSTOR, we may also be able to know that how many times the particular book or particular journal has been cited by scholars, right? By research scholars. So because thanks to internet and thanks to a computer, we can also now count automatically that how many times a particular, how frequently a particular citation or reference has been given by research scholars, right? So from that frequency of citation, you can determine that how a study is important or how important it is in the relevant field, right? So that could be done. And then we can also know that which study is important in the field, in a particular field, or in the history of a particular research area, right? So we can also have that information, and therefore we can also find that what are the seminal works, what are the benchmark works, which are important in a particular area, right? Like, for example, you want to study second language learning, right? Or English as a foreign language, the teaching of English as a foreign language. So from the frequency of citations, and then also by going through bibliographies and references, you would be knowing that what studies are really important. What are the fundamental studies which must be known to research scholars who are working in these particular fields, okay? So we can also have some information from databases, preliminary sources like Google Scholar and ERIC and TESOL, and also from other sources which are available like JSTOR, and we can find that what studies are important, right? So now let me just take you to one list of references which are given at the end of your textbook by Fred Perry. So let me just take you there, and I would let you know that how would you explore the list and how would you further use the given book, the given reference for your further studies. Okay, so now let's go to the references list given at the end of your textbook. Dear students, this is your textbook, Research and Applied Linguistics, Becoming a Discerning Consumer. And I'm taking you to the page from where references are starting, right? So these are references, and you know that this references list is given in alphabetical order, right? Like Agresti, 1996, Akamatsu, 2002. So this list is in alphabetical order, right? So you can just explore further that which is the book, like the Pragmatics of Later Writing, World Englishes. So this is the name of the journal, which is given in italics, and this is, you know, the topic which is there. And further, you can see that the volume is, the journal volume is 20, and pages are from 179 to 200, right? So you can explore these primary researches. These are primary researches which are given in the list of references here in this book, and it is, you know, a tool, or, you know, a source from where you can further explore and you can use them. One example I would like to give here is that this is a book by Bogue, Simon Bogue, who is an expert of English language teaching at Leeds University, United Kingdom. And it's the book which was published in 1998, and it's, you know, it's a journal article. Sorry, it's not a book, it's a journal article. And the title is Teachers' Pedagogical Systems in Grammar Teaching, right? A qualitative study, right? So this is actually the study. Like, if you are going through this source and you find that this is a study which is mostly relevant to your research area, and you know that the journal, which is TESOL Quarterly, it's a journal, right? And its volume 32 has this publication from page number 9 to page 38, right? So now you would be, if you are interested in this topic, in this research article, you would be accessing this from TESOL Quarterly, right? And you would be using this primary research in order to justify your hypotheses and in order to provide the background information to your research area, right? So this is the way you would be using this list of references or list of bibliography for your research studies. There are so many books, so you would decide from the title of the book, and then you can access which is given here as a source for your further exploration.